Hey guys, it's Lizzie here. So today I'm going to do a foundation and concealer first impression of the new Urban Decay Stay Naked. So I've got the shade 20NN in the foundation, and it's quite good. It explains what the NN means on the lid. It says neutral as the master tone and neutral as the undertone, and then 20 is the intensity of the colour, which is fair. And then with the concealer I got 20WY, WY, which stands for fair, warm, yellow. So I find yellow-based concealer helps cover my under eye circles better and all my acne and things like that. And the Urban Decay All Nighter one is quite yellow on me too, which I think looks quite flattering. So this is the product. It comes in plastic and a plasticky fake metal lid, quite fingerprinty, but that's absolutely fine. And they are 1 fluid ounce, 30ml, so that's pretty standard for a foundation. And then this is 10.2 grams, so that is 0.35 fluid ounces in the concealer, which is the same as the All Nighter, which I get in fair warm, and this is fair warm yellow as well. So I'm thinking it'd be a pretty good match. There are more shades in this. There are 50 shades of the foundation, and the foundation is £29.50, I believe. Let me have a look. Yeah, £29.50. It's said to be 24 hours wear, and then on its website, with the description, it says that it's waterproof, long lasting, it's very flexible, you can't really feel it on your skin. It's meant to minimise pores and stay the exact same colour, so no oxidisation. It is vegan and cruelty free. And it also says on the side of the box, there's a little description there, that it's also transfer proof. That was definitely not an English one I just read. Real skin matte finish, buildable coverage, like medium buildable coverage, and does not transfer. So it sounds pretty good. I generally like a really full coverage, so I go for the Urban Decay All Nighter. I like the fact this says it's transfer resistant and flexible. I think it sounds pretty good so far. So what I'm going to do, what I've decided is, recently I've been putting my concealer under my foundation because I've been using the Bare Minerals Pro Foundation. And if you watch my video of that, you'll know that concealer doesn't go over the top of that at all. But what I'm going to do today is put concealer on one side, so under my eyes and covering my blemishes, and then foundation on top. And then on the other side I'll do it the other way around. And we'll see if there is a better way or not, as opposed to committing to one way all over my face and it not working, like in that video. With the concealer, I forgot to mention it comes in 24 shades and is £20. So I think we should get started. I was going to put a tiny bit of primer on, but as it says it's pore minimising, I'm going to avoid that for today. So let's start with the concealer. I'm going to do this underneath. I'm a bit washed out. I'm just going to darken that one moment. Okay, that's a bit better, that's a bit more accurate. So the concealer comes with, oh, a really curvy doe foot. Yeah, very bizarre shape. So I'm going to put this under my eyes and on top. We'll do a little bit at a time in case it sets. Use a brush for this. I do have a sponge ready as well. So I think that colour's really nice. I like the fact it comes in so many shades. 50 shades is amazing. Well, not the concealer, but the foundation. Maybe they'll bring out more concealer tones as well. Okay, that blends out really quick. It's very bright, isn't it? But I don't mind that. I'm going to put some around my nose, and some, just by some I mean loads, on half my chin. Doesn't really smell of anything too particular. Oh, I think that's such a good colour. Also the foundation, there was 2 shades lighter than the one I got. So that's pretty good. They colour matched me in store, she put some on my face. Which I would recommend doing. Okay, let's see how well it covers this. So this is where the challenges are. I definitely use too much concealer because it's just going everywhere now and it's sort of becoming foundation. It's possibly I don't know, it matches my neck. My skin still has redness everywhere, so like I've mentioned in a few videos, it never looks like it actually matches my face, but this looks pretty close. I'm going to put a tiny bit more on where you can see some redness poking through. And then we get onto foundation. I'm going to just pat it in with my finger, I think, so as to not move it around too much. Yeah, that's working really well. There we go. So there's nothing on my forehead. I think that looks amazing. I'll zoom you in. As I always mention, it's not going to cover any texture. Things are still going to look pretty lumpy. But I would say that that's blended out really well. That offers amazing coverage. It doesn't feel cakey or heavy on the skin at all. I'm just going to look under my eyes. There's the slightest creasing. I don't know if you'll be able to see. But I haven't set it at all, and if I used Urban Decay or Nitro, there would definitely be more creasing. Right, so that's exciting. So we go on to the foundation. I'm going to use a sponge because then I can just sponge over everything and not disrupt this so much. So it's a pump, which is really good, nice and hygienic. Oh yeah, we're going to be pumping for a while, I imagine. Oh no. Alright, so we do one pump to start with. I'll start with this side. It just sort of smells a bit alcohol-y, not really of anything particularly special. Okay. Just going to put this absolutely everywhere. Zoom me out a bit, chopping up half my face. As always, I apply barely any to my forehead because I like all my freckles and stuff to show through. I would say that's pretty decent coverage. I mean, those big red marks are only barely showing through. Wow. We do just like tiny half a pump to cover the other side. See how well it goes over this concealer now that it's set. Yeah, it's not coming off at all. Obviously I'm really touching lightly, I don't want to fuck it up just yet. And these colours go well together. They're both yellow based. There we go. So I'll just put a tiny bit of concealer this side on the few areas where I could do with a bit more coverage. I most probably would leave it here in real life, but we're just going to see if it layers well over the top. So a tiny bit here, here, and we'll do under the eyes again. For the blemishes I'll use my finger, and then sponge last. There we go. I think that looks amazing. I think the coverage under my eyes is really good, and on my blemishes. And it does have a slightly dewier finish than the all-nighter. It's not as thick, even though I think the all-nighter is very thin, especially compared to like Kat Von D and things. So if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know around these scars it tends to settle. It has a little bit. We'll try and blend that out. Hang on. Right, so I've been able to blend it out. Just weird facial expression. We'll see if it settles back in or stays as is. You see it's got a bit of a shine to it. Right, I'm just going to give it a minute to see if it sets down at all and touch it and see if it transfers. It says it doesn't. It would be amazing if it doesn't, because then you wouldn't need to use as much powder, and it would keep this nice, like more luminous finish. So yeah, I'll be back again in a minute or two. Okay, so I've given it 2 minutes and it's not really done. I mean, it still looks identical, doesn't it? But under my eyes it's not creased, and it doesn't come off onto my hand when I touch it. It feels very much like it's set, but not really thick. I'm going to put a tiny bit of powder under my eyes, just because I will be wearing eye makeup anyway, so I'll just make sure there's no creases with my finger. This is just the e.l.f. under eye setting powder. Now what I'm going to do is just set around my nose, like just the centre of my face, but leave the cheeks as they are, I think. I don't know. I always see other people putting powder products over their face without setting it, and I just don't know if I'm that wild. I worry I just won't be able to blend it out properly. Yeah, you know what, I'm a bit scared. So I'm going to set it with the tiniest bit of powder. Like put my brush in and really tap it off. Because if I use like cream blusher and stuff, then that would most probably be fine, but I don't know. I'm like, really tap. And then we just... There we go. So that's all set. Yeah, it feels lovely on the skin. So far I think it looks amazing. I think it possibly looks better than the all-nighter. I think the colour's lovely and the coverage is really good. I'm not going to be testing it for 24 hours because I'm not that wild, but I will check in throughout the day to see how it's wearing, if there's any bits that sort of fall apart or melt away or settle into any of these scars and stuff. I will come back once I've done the rest of my makeup, so that won't be too much of a gap, and then I will check in throughout the day. So I will see you in a bit. Hi guys, so it's been 5 hours now since I last saw you. As you see, I've done the rest of my makeup. All my face products blended out really well on top of this foundation. Really smooth, they didn't sort of lift up any of the foundation at all. I had no issues with it. It still has a slight luminous finish. Oh sorry, it's really sunny. I'm just going to turn the camera around. Okay, the sun's gone. Yes, so I still think it looks exactly the same. Oh, now the sun is back. Okay, I'm just going to sit on the floor. So yes, I think my face looks exactly the same as it did a couple of hours ago. It's still got that nice like slight luminosity to it, but it's quite a skin-like finish, I'd say. It's not too matte or drying. And yeah, I'll zoom you in. So you can see the coverage is still the same. It's not completely full coverage. There's still some redness, but it looks very skin-like. It's not settled any more into my scars. Under my eyes it hasn't creased at all, and it doesn't seem drying or, you know, it's not accentuated any fine lines. And it hasn't sunk into any fine lines on my forehead. So yes, so far me and Pepper think that it looks great. I definitely think this might now be my new foundation, I'm not sure. Sorry, I look very washed out. I think it's because the wall's just so black as well. But there we are. Yeah, I'll check in again with you in a couple more hours and we'll see how it's doing then. And so far I have nothing negative to say. So I'll see you in a bit. Hey guys, so it's been another 4 hours now since I applied the makeup. So I think it's been on 9 hours now. And I think it's looking absolutely amazing. I've not really done a great deal, but a shift at work is 8 hours and I feel like this would last that. It's not settled into anywhere, it's not rubbed off, it doesn't feel sticky at all, it doesn't transfer like it says. So I'll zoom you in and you can get a better look. So the only place that's a bit weird, but it's been weird the whole time, but I know I forgot about it after last time, is on my nose. It's not very well blended, but I think that's my fault. It still has that nice luminosity. I appreciate that I have like highlighter on. Maybe forehead is a better place to show you that. So it just looks like it shines like skin does, so nothing too like dewy, but also not completely matte and powdery. And then on my chin, so the more problem area. So the coverage is exactly the same, and around my nose. So yeah, I think this foundation is fantastic. I love the fact it comes in 50 shades. It goes to such a deep colour as well, and the fact that there's 2 shades paler than this is amazing. It just is so much more inclusive that way. The concealers coming in 24 shades, or yeah, it was 24 I think, might be a bit limiting. I don't know, people might be able to mix them together or mix them with the foundation a little bit to adjust the shade. But I'm really happy with it. I think it's fantastic. I think it feels great on the skin, a lot lighter than the Urban Decay all-nighter, but so much coverage. I definitely think it's a strong medium coverage, and it really was quite buildable when I applied it earlier. I can't really notice the difference between if I prefer it with the concealer underneath or on top, so that's fine. That's nice and easy. I can do it either way. And yeah, everything blended out really well on top, and my eyeshadows and face makeup and things. So I'm very pleased. If you have any comments about it, or you want to let other people know how you found the foundation on your skin, then leave that below, and make sure you say what your skin type is so other people can be a bit more informed about it too. I generally have dry skin around my acne, and then my skin gets shiny through the T-zone, a bit drier on the cheeks. That's sort of how my skin is at the moment. But thank you so much for watching. I'll leave my other foundation videos below. There's a whole playlist of them, so you can see a variety of sort of full coverage, mostly vegan and cruelty free foundation reviews. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all very, very soon. Take care, bye bye.